Chamber of Commerce of the great city of Syracuse, New York. This bout is being sanctioned and supervised by the New York State Athletic Commission, the Honorable John M. Prenderville, the chairman. Also sanctioned by the Commissioner Fred Shook from the WBC. And the officials that have been assigned here tonight by the New York State Athletic Commission are judges Carol Castellano, Vinnie Rayon, and Harold Lederman. The attending physicians at ringside tonight is Dr. Armand Sankara and Dr. John Merola. And the referee for this bout is Arthur Morcanti. This is the main final bout of the evening. It's for 15 rounds for the World's Boxing Council Welterweight Championship. Coming here tonight from Denver, Colorado. He's wearing the red trunks with white stripes. He weighs 144 3/4. Larry Bonds. Larry Bonds. Now his opponent from Mitchellville, Maryland, wearing the white trunks with red stripes and weighing 145.5. He's the WBC welterweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Sugar Ray Leonard.
You can feel electricity.
You really can. It's that way at every championship fight. This one is no exception. You have to look at the odds and say they're long for Larry Bonds, but nonetheless, there is that electricity.
Sugar and Larry. This contest for the welterweight championship of the world will be governed by the rules of the World Boxing Council. In the event of a knockdown, you must take an 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule has been waived. You will be penalized for any illegal blows. When I say break, break. Shake hands now, return to your corners to await the starting bell. Good luck.
Well, you saw the stairs. All the gamesmanship is over. All there is now is just to get to it, and that's exactly what we're about to do. Welterweight championship of the world. We're at the Carrier-Drome in Syracuse, New York. Some 20,000 people on hand for this one. Round 1, scheduled 15-rounder. Crowd comes alive right at the get-go. Bonds comes out circles. Larry Bonds, remember, has fought only 7 rounds in 11 months. And a knockout the last time out over Costello King. First punch of the fight, sticking jab by Bonds. Bonds has said he's got to change strategies time and again in this fight. Can't show any kind of consistency against the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard.
It's interesting that the role for Leonard is exactly reversed as in the Durant fights. He's now the chaser instead of the chasee.
Well, you know, you're right there. I think this is the fill-out round here. You know, they're both trying to see what shots they can get in there. And I think that he wants to move right now and try to draw Leonard to do what he don't want to do.
Early in the first round here, first right hand thrown by Leonard, whistles by the nose of Larry Bonds. Bonds dancing in his own corner now, up on his toes. Larry Bonds has gone 12 rounds on 2 different occasions. So going a distance is not totally unusual to him. It's just the fact that he has not had a lot of activity in the last year.
Well, the way that he's built, by slim that he is, he should have great hand speed.
He's the kind of guy that when he fights well, makes his opponent look bad. Right hand to the top of the head of Sugar Ray Leonard, little damage. Coming up on the 2-minute mark, round 1, welterweight championship of the world. Sugar Ray Leonard on the left. That is Larry Bonds, the challenger, and a long shot challenger in the red trunks.
Main thing what I see right here, Barry, is that Bonds has to be careful when he's dancing around there, because he's lifting his head up. He's bringing his head up out of that pocket there.
Something to watch for. Right hand scores by Leonard. Larry Bonds also keeping that right arm down pretty well and making himself a target to the left-hand jabs of Sugar Ray Leonard. Coming up on the 15-second mark in round one.
Well, I think Leonard's doing a great job right now behind the fact that he's cutting the ring off. He's moving side to side on him. He's, like you say, he's the aggressor in this fight.
Larry Bonds still continues to circle now, backpedal a little bit. We come to the end of round one. Bonds looks Sugar Ray Leonard all the way back to his corner, but Leonard, as you mentioned, was the aggressor in round one.
It's easy to see off this first round why fighters avoid Larry Bonds. He's quick and he's careful.
Round number 2 coming up.
Let's listen to Angelo Dundee and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Pick up the pace, Ray, that's all.
Very simple instructions from Angie Dundee.
He was just sort of measuring the timing and geometry between them in that round, and he just say, okay, let's squeeze the vise a little tighter now.
You all night long, you know.
Well, one thing you would know, Leonard has to...
There we see Larry Bonds receiving his instructions. And of course, the longer he goes with the champion, the more valuable a commodity he becomes for his future.
Can't emphasize enough, the biggest purse that Larry Bonds has had coming into this fight was $2,000. That was in his last fight, last April against Costello King. In this fight, he will make $100,000. And if he shows well against the champion, I would think more fights will follow. Leonard now pressing the attack against Larry Bonds.
Well, what you heard in the corner from Angie Dundee told Leonard to pick the pace up.
Leonard, the master, right hand to the chest of Larry Bonds. And first time Bonds tries to force the action a little bit. Comes up pretty much empty. Left hand to the face does score. And Leonard comes back at him, ties him up. And Leonard draws a warning from Arthur McCanty for holding and hitting.
Well, Leonard's got to have a little nerve in him, you know, because I tell you, it only takes a second out there. He shouldn't be too careful. I mean, you know, he's a little bit too relaxed.
Well, that, of course, is the danger that everyone that has had anything to do with this fight has talked about. That it's very easy to overlook someone like Larry Bonds. You can tell yourself time and time again that you're not going to do it. Then when it gets down to it, you do it.
Well, you know, he's very confident, you know, and you can see that. He's just really just walking right on top of Bonds.
Leonard did score with an uppercut. There's another uppercut. The left hand behind that to the cheek of Larry Bonds spins him away from the ropes.
He's using the ring very well. He's cutting off Bonds. Bonds has got to be more fast and more accurate with his jab.
Bonds misses with a combination there.
To make Leonard respect him a little more.
Right above us now, Leonard works on Bonds against the ropes here. No damage in the fight. We're in the second round. All of that action absorbed by the gloves of Larry Bonds. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, round 2, welterweight championship. We're in Syracuse, New York. Good combination, scoring against Larry Bonds by the champion. Bonds tries to come back with that right hand jab. And again, a combination left hand right across the face of Larry Bonds. And another left hand to the face of Bonds now in his own corner. Bonds gets a jab in on the face of Leonard, gets himself extricated from that corner. Larry Bonds has only been down once in his boxing career. He was stopped one other time on cuts. 2 quick jabs by Bonds.
Barry, I think what we have to look for is Leonard's right uppercut and left hook.
There's a left and a right to the face.
That's going to be his baby tonight.
You can really see Leonard setting up his man with the left hand and then coming back with the right hand. Scores again.
Right there.
And that would hurt Larry Bonds, cause his arms to drop.
Bonds was just shook with that right there.
Bonds on the bicycle now. And Leonard again with a right hand lead this time.
You see Leonard holding, though, behind the head and punching. It's one thing that the referee is going to have to really start jumping on a little quicker.
Arthur Mercanti did warn Leonard about that one time, so we'll keep an eye on that. That round, clearly the champions.
You know, in one respect, this is a good fight for Leonard, because when you come off two major fights like he had with Duran, it's just so difficult mentally and emotionally to gather yourself for another big fight. He needs this kind of fight. He needs another fight before he can say, okay, now I've got to really go to work for a strong opponent. Let's take a look at some of that action right here as Leonard stalks Bonds. There's the right hand. Shook Bonds just a bit, but the next right hand missed.
Well, you can see that he's been training real well to shoot a lot of right hands at the southpaw. I'm very amazed at the stare that these two guys are giving as they're even sitting on the stool.
Well, Larry Bonds is giving good stare, but the left hand is giving him a bit of a problem. Bonds comes out for the third round now. Second round was the champions, very clearly so. Let's see if Bonds does change his strategy. He has said he has to do that if he's going to have any chance at all.
Well, Barry, I believe in this fight here, Leonard's going to go more with power than speed. He knows what he has in front of him.
Leonard starts to wind up with that bolo punch again. He showed that briefly against Duran.
Right now, he looks as though he's just in the gym, just working. Taking his time and picking his punches.
And Bonds with a quick left jab, but not doing any damage. And again, Leonard gets the left hand in the face of Larry Bonds. And once again to the face of Larry Bonds. Right over us now, a right hand right on the chin of Larry Bonds. So Leonard wasting few punches, scoring with most of it.
As I was saying earlier, you can see how Leonard's just cutting the ring off from him.
Right hand catches Bonds, that time up on the shoulder. And a right to the body that time. First time Leonard has gone to the body.
I believe what Bond has to do is throw punches and loosen up a little more and make Leonard kind of respect him a little more.
There's a right hand to the face of Leonard that does score for Larry Bonds. Might have been his best punch of the fight. They're in the center of the ring now. Leonard flicks that left hand again into the face of Larry Bonds. Just looks to be measuring his man now. Leonard being patient. Right hand right up on the forehead of Larry Bonds, and once again his knees wobble.
That was that right uppercut I told you about earlier.
Leonard much the master right now. We're in the third round, coming up on the 2-minute mark of the third round. And Leonard going to a windmill style. Right hand once again catches the challenger Larry Bonds on the cheek. And again, Leonard comes back with a left hand, and the right hand follow misses. Leonard with a right hand and another right hand, and once more Bonds' knees wobble.
Bonds is hurt. I don't believe that this fight will last another round. I said within 5 rounds.
Well, Leonard right now just taking the measure of his man and has made it no contest. Spins him around, hits him with the right hand again, but Bonds stays in there gamely. Again, Sugar Ray Leonard stalking his man. 20 seconds remaining here in the third round. Leonard after Bonds misses with a left and a right that time.
I think in Leonard's mind right now, he knows what he has in front of him, and he's just getting like a gym workout.
Again, a solid right hand to the chest of Larry Bonds. Bonds' legs still seem fairly strong, however, as he backpedals away.
Bond would have to shoot that. He's waiting for Leonard a lot right now, where he would have to shoot that jab there.
And we come to the end of the third round once again. A round that was all Sugar Ray Leonard.
Well, a fight like this is basically a solo for the champion. You want to see how he's going to perform, what kind of shape he's in, how he's taking his opponent. Okay. All eyes are trained on Sugar Ray Leonard, as we are here. Let's take a look at some of those actions and how Leonard is trying to solve his opponent. It's not easy to hit Larry Bonds with more than one punch in a bunch.
But what I'm so surprised about, it seems like even when he just touches him, he shakes him up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that right hand was not really the best punch I've seen Sugar Ray Leonard throw, and yet seemed to catch him somewhere between the shoulder blade and the chin, and still it shook him.
Sure. Well, with Bonds, he knows that this is his last shot. He's 29 years old. He's got to almost be the aggressor. He's letting Leonard take the fight away from him. He's got to be the aggressor. He's got to go out. There's no tomorrow in this fight for him.
Well, he said earlier this year that he really given some thought to quitting. That, of course, was before Sugar Ray Leonard gave him the opportunity of a championship fight.
Well, it's a great opportunity for him.
Round 4 now. Leonard has been the aggressor. Leonard has been the man that has scored. And the fight, I think it's safe to say, has been all Sugar Ray Leonard so far. He has had Larry Bonds off balance. Bonds has scored with a couple of jabs, but no more than that. Leonard still stalking Bonds right over our microphones now, sticking that left hand in Bonds' face, keeping him off balance. Another right hand crashes in on the chin of Larry Bonds. Bonds right against the ropes. And manages to stick Leonard with a right hand and get himself out of there now.
This is what he has to do right here. He has to be first.
Leonard missed with an uppercut that time, and that one sailed over the head of Larry Bonds, who seems to be getting a little bit more aggressive, almost as if there's no tomorrow.
Well, now he's thinking about it right now. He knows there's no tomorrow.
A guy who's not been known as a knockout puncher. He has had 9 knockouts in his career.
Well, right now, basically, I think what Larry's trying to do is he's trying to confuse Ray. But Ray's just keeping that jab in his face to keep him off balance.
Ray has controlled the fight. Once again, left-hand jab, and again a left-hand jab on Larry Bonds, and yet another one. Neither man is marked yet, but Leonard has been clearly the guy who has gotten the punches in. And another left hand to the face of Larry Bonds.
There's no way Leonard took Bonds lightly, and you can see that right now. He trained very hard for Bonds. He come in at 145.5. You know he's in terrific shape.
His punches are crisp. He's not wasting any punches. Seems to be biding his time. Completely the master of his trade here. Again, he gets Bonds right in the corner. Looks at Bonds, almost smiles at him. And again, a right hand this time in the face of Larry Bonds. And another right hand. Right above us now. That right hand missed by Sugar Ray Leonard. Bonds bounces off the ropes, misses with a left hand. Leonard above us again now. Right hand to the face, and the left over the back of the head. Another right hand to the face of Bonds by Sugar Ray Leonard. Bonds tries to fight his way off the ropes. Can't do it. 2 lefts and a right score for Sugar Ray Leonard again.
Right there was one of the punches I was telling you. Bonds, every time he tries to dance, he lifts his head up, and it's a target for Leonard.
And another left hand hurt Larry Bonds in his own corner as they come to the center of the ring now. And again, against the ropes, is Larry Bonds. Right uppercut got in on Bonds' chin.
This is where Bonds is making a big mistake right now by trying to stand there and slug with Leonard.
Bonds scored with a left hand, but Leonard scored with 2. And another right hand to the left to the side of the face of Larry Bonds, who again is a little bit wobbly now. Another left hand to the face of Bonds by Sugar Ray Leonard. A flicking right jab is harmless. Back the other way. 3-4 punches to the face now of Larry Bonds. Right above us once more. A right hand and another right. A left hand, and Bonds goes down. Bonds still on all 4s. The count of 5, 6, 7, and he is up at the count of 7. Arthur Mercanti looks into his eyes now as time runs out in the 4th round. Let's go into Bonds' corner and see exactly what the situation is. Once more, Sugar Ray Leonard pressing the action and being the master.
What did I tell you? I told you, I don't want you with your hands down over there. You understand what I'm saying? I want your hands up. I don't want your hands down.
Telling him, I don't want your hands down, I want your hands up. Easy advice to give for somebody who's not in there taking a punishment, isn't it?
Well, this is survival
You're
time.
bouncing around.
And Marvin, you picked the 5th round. You want to sell your bet?
Stick it in moving.
Well, one thing that we know for sure, Leonard is the puncher of this fight.
Here's a little Muhammad Ali action by Sugar Ray Leonard, leading the crowd in cheers. And the crowd really comes alive. Arthur Mercanti telling Sugar Ray, stay back, just wait till the round starts. And it's time for a little showbiz. Leonard is the guy in control now, has been right from the outset. Bonds tries to punch back with a combination that lands lightly on the forehead of Sugar Ray, and a right hand does get into the cheek of Sugar Ray Leonard. Leonard has his man right above us again, where he's done an awful lot of damage. just relentless, will not let Bonds back off at all. And Bonds tries to punch back. Nothing doing much damage. Left hand did get into the chin of Sugar Ray Leonard by Larry Bonds, the challenger. Bonds still seems to have his legs under him, even though he's absorbed an awful lot of punishment. Left hand right into the rib cage that time.
Well, right now, what Leonard knows, he's not in there with no Duran. And that's for sure.
That is for sure. Right hand again crashes in to the cheek of Larry Bonds. Leonard has done the most damage when he's had his man on the ropes.
One thing what I see, he have improved behind the fact of fighting a fight like Roberto Duran. He looks very confident. He knows what he's doing in there. He's the master.
This is round 5, and a good right hand. Maybe the best punch of the fight by Larry Bonds, but back comes Sugar Ray Leonard with 2 rights that land on the face of Larry Bonds, and he gets out of there in a hurry. Bonds just seems to be on his bicycle, while Sugar Ray Leonard just seems very calm, very relaxed in the ring. Workmanlike, I think, is a fair way to describe it. Again, right above us now. Bonds wants to get out of there. Comes back with 2 jabs to the side of the head of the champion, Sugar Ray Leonard.
It appears that Leonard has decided that he needed a couple of more rounds of action.
That left hand missed, and another left to the kidneys of Larry Bonds, and that'll slow it out in a hurry. And now, once again, Larry Bonds' right hand is down by his trucks. And Leonard that time misses. That punches to the kidneys really will have their effect. And again, Larry Bonds in his own corner.
What he's doing right now is he's waiting for Bonds to shoot that jab out so he can step over and hit him with that.
And there was a right hand once more that wobbles the legs of Larry Bonds. Leonard winds up with another right hand right to the chest of Bonds.
Leonard wants to step over there and kill them kidneys. He's waiting for him to throw that jab out there so he can get over there and use them ribs.
A couple of good solid punches to the kidneys. There's another one. And that has got to slow you down. Look at where Larry Bonds' right hand is. It's down around his waistband most of the time.
He's landed a few good punches on Leonard in this round when Leonard is loaded up.
And that is the end of round 5. And Larry Bonds has really taken a beating right now from Sugar Ray Leonard. Those kidney punches have just got to ruin your whole day.
Well, that'll bring him down. That's what Leonard's thinking. He wants to slow this guy down. He wants to make sure that he won't be doing that much dancing. And those, he's using his left hand very well, Leonard is. Getting over there, and those punches there will slow you down.
Just don't stay there, in and out, bang.
Let's go back now to round 4 and take another look at the knockdown punch. Marvin Hagler, why don't you talk us through this?
Well, right there, you see what Leonard's doing is he's using his left hand there, but he got a little careless there, and he got popped too, I believe, in this round. Right now, he knows he has his man, and he's just really setting him up, looking for the big one.
And there was one right hand scored, came back with a right to the face and a left to the side of the head, and down went the challenger, Larry Bonds. That was in the 4th round. We are now in round 6. Sugar Ray Leonard comes out. Crowd adjudicating him to finish him off.
After letting up in the 5th round, Angelo Dundee told him to take care of the business and close the show right now. Let's see if he can.
Larry Bonds is trying to move around, bob and weave. He is slowed down perceptibly, I think. Uppercut with the left hand misses by Leonard.
Bonds is in there with the wrong man right now to be dropping his hands that low.
Unquestionably, and he has been doing that for the last couple of rounds. Another left hand. It looks as though Sugar Ray Leonard could score at will with the left hand. Bit of a mouse under the right eye now of Larry Bonds.
Well, I assumed that Bonds would come out now throwing more punches after Leonard had caught him just as the bell rang. Bonds didn't seem as though he liked it that too much.
Another one of those left hands to the kidney, and that just has got to be painful.
See, Leonard's moving his head very well now, and he's looking for him to use that jab so he can use that left kidney punch again. One thing I noticed about Bonds, his hands are slowed down now.
That is a sign of a tired fighter and a fighter who's absorbed a lot of punishment, and that has been the case here as Sugar Ray Leonard, right from the opening bell, has taken command of the fight. Right hand gets to the nose of Sugar Ray Leonard, does no damage. Leonard comes back at his man now, just picking with the left hand jab.
Bonds should be moving right now instead of just staying still.
And once again, a right to the kidneys and a left to the side of the head. And another left hand right to the nose of Larry Bonds. Right hand scores for Leonard. Leonard just not wasting punches. Combination. And another left hand and a right above us now. And Larry Bonds again tries to dance away, but is having trouble doing so. The mind knows what to do. The body is not cooperating right now for Larry Bonds. And Leonard dances around Bonds, misses with a right hand, comes back with a left and a right, each of which graze off the chest and the shoulder of Larry Bonds.
Gray has to be a little careful in there while he's leaning his head in and with his hands down. This guy here, it can only take a second. You never know when those punches are going to come out.
Coming up on 30 seconds remaining now in round 6. Leonard seemingly can do it almost any time he wants to. And
I think he's kind of surprised right now, too. What's keeping this guy up, too?
Combination does score by Leonard, and that came on the heels of a pretty good jab by Larry Bonds. Another one of those punches to the kidneys. And once again, Larry Bonds' right hand is down around his waistband. 2 more punches to the body, drops the right hand again, and right back comes Sugar Ray Leonard with a pair of rights to the face, and another right misses, and another right to the side of the chin.
Right now, Leonard's beating him as though he's his child.
Once again, right over us here, as Bonds tries to fight back with the right hand. Todd comes alive, Mercanti steps in, end of round 6. And Leonard seems to be having a pretty good time.
Well, Leonard is, and Bonds is exactly what they ordered for Leonard for this fight. But if we ask Bonds to do more than he is doing, we're really asking to be a different fighter. He's not the kind of fighter capable of doing more, and if he could, he wouldn't be in the ring with Leonard right now. Let's take a look at that exchange at the end. Leonard hit him with 3 good body punches and then went for the kill, but he didn't get it again.
Bonds is a little bit slippery. Leonard just can't understand what's happening right now.
They said he was a stick and move, clever fighter, and that's exactly what he is. Nobody fooled anybody. He hit Leonard a good right hand punch in there, but it didn't even send the sweat on his brow flying. He can hit hard. That's another reason he's in this fight.
Well, as it is, we have gone through 6 rounds of boxing, and we come to round 7, and Larry Bonds is still in an upright position, and there's something to be said just for that. Sugar Ray Leonard once more stalks his man. Larry Bonds dances. Legs still seem to be with him.
What I believe what Leonard's trying to do right now is get more work on the southpaw, because he knows that he's going to be fighting probably Kalu, and he needs the work to learn how to fight a southpaw. So I think this is what he's doing in this fight.
Can't help it if somewhere in the back of his mind he might be thinking about you a little bit too.
Could be. I'm not going nowhere.
Bonds still flicking that jab out. It is of little effect. And the champion continues to stalk him. But as we mentioned, there's something to be said for the mere fact that Larry Bonds is still in a standing position. And again, a left hand scores briskly on Larry Bonds.
Again, Barry, Leonard has to be wondering what's keeping this guy up.
He's hit him with everything. 2 jabs there, back him into the ropes again.
Well, you can see there's not an ounce of fat on Bonds.
He needs. Tried to put Bonds away in the last round and couldn't quite do it.
Bonds is not cooperating. That's what's happening.
He's not at all. We're in the 7th round now. The fight is clearly, there's a right hand, and Bonds bounces off the ropes again.
Bonds is looking for a lucky shot.
Another left hand to the face of Larry Bonds, just enough to keep him off balance, keep him off of Sugar Ray Leonard.
Leonard noticed that his left hand is down. Bonds' left hand is way down, and he's just countering on that.
And a flicking left hand that time.
I believe Bonds now has got the butterflies out of him right now. Well, right now. And he's thinking right here, what I got to do to get this guy?
Got to find him before you can do anything else. Right above us now, Leonard has done his most damage right in this position, but this time Bonds gets himself out of there. Once again, quick left hand by Leonard right above us, and Bonds fights back with a couple of jabs. We come to the end of round 7. This fight will at least get into the 8th round. We're going to go into Sugar Ray Leonard's corner now. Listen to Angelo Dundee, his man. Leonard is the first to talk.
You know what you're going to do now? You're going to chase this guy and fight him. Forget everything. Tear him up. Uppercuts, right hands to the kidney. Fight him. That's all. Fight him. Fight him. Round 8. That's what I want you to do. Fight him. You get him out of there. If you stay there in one clinch for about a half a minute, he'll fall. But tear up the uppercuts when you're doing it. With both hands. You know what I mean, Ray? Both hands.
Well, I think you heard that's exactly what Angelo Dundee wants his man to do. Hit him with the uppercuts. Go fight him, he said. Fight him. And Ray Leonard said, you want me to fight him? He said, yeah. So let's see now if that's what happens.
He also said, Leonard there, he said, you know, he's awkward to fight.
Well, right now, I believe that Leonard has to put the pressure on him right now, like Angelo Dundee said, because he make Leonard look bad right now by not even putting this guy away.
So let's see if it's an intense Sugar Ray Leonard. Sticks a quick right hand out to start things here. Look for the uppercuts. That's what Angelo Dundee had said. With both hands, he said. But he's got to get close first. And again, Larry Bonds still bouncing up on his toes. Leonard bangs away to the body with about 4 punches. Done a lot of damage to the body of Larry Bonds. And again to the body, just waiting to drop the hands of Bonds.
Well, right now, he's still not doing what Angelo told him. Angelo told him to go in and fight this guy. And he's got to put a little bit more pressure on Bonds so that Bonds don't make him look that bad out there. People are wondering now what's keeping Bonds up.
Well, Bonds, other than the one time that he did go down, has not really appeared to be seriously hurt. He's been shaken a few times.
That was a good jab by Bonds right there.
Ray continues to stalk him. Bonds continues to stay up on his toes, so his legs have not gone.
Bonds is trying to be sneaky right now, and he wants to fire left hand, just as he just did. He's looking at Leonard's body with his right jab, and he's want to fire the left hand upstairs.
The right hand to the nose that time of Larry Bonds by Sugar Ray Leonard. The left hand upside of the head.
His hands are really dropping, this Bonds. His hands are really dropping really low now.
Another left hand scores, and another left hand scores by Leonard. Bonds misses with a right hand. Leonard back with a right hand. Wild right hand misses right above us. And again, Leonard gets his man on the ropes, but Bonds dances away. Leonard has done his most damage on the ropes right above us here. Bonds tries to fight out of the corner, brings the crowd alive here.
I think the question is whether Sugar Ray Leonard is really capable of being that kind of brawler that Dundee wants him to be here.
Well, he knows
That's not his style.
No, it isn't, and you know, it takes a lot. Only way that Leonard's going to do that if he really gets this guy seriously hurt. He's not walking up on top of this guy like he was the first couple of rounds.
No, he's not actually. A left and a right, right above us again. Bonds tries to spin away and ties Leonard up on the ropes. Once again, Leonard continuing to stalk Larry Bonds. Left hand sticks in on his face, but Larry Bonds still up on his toes, still dancing. And I think your point is well taken, Marvin. He is not in as clear command of the fight as he was at the get-go.
I think what Leonard's trying to do right now is still concentrate on wearing his man down a little more and then go in for the kill.
So it appears that Larry Bonds is going to weather the 8th round here. And in fact, there's been no serious damage upon his body in the last 2 rounds.
Well, you found out against Obel Mejias that it's easier said than done.
Believe it. This man here just would go down there for the beginning, and I tell you, I give him a lot of credit. I thought I had him there earlier, and I was amazed at him coming back so strong.
Well, we told you earlier about all the boxing upcoming here on HBO. Saturday, April 11th. Larry Merchant, Sugar Ray Leonard, and I are going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada at Caesars Palace for the World's Heavyweight Championship fight. Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion, against Trevor Berbick. And people are telling us that Trevor Berbick is training very much in the manner of Marvin Hagler. And here's a guy who really could be a factor, as Larry Merchant mentioned before, and there he is. That is young Ray Leonard. That is a cute kid.
He loves his father, that's for sure.
He does. Not a bad little actor either.
You know, every round that Bonds goes is like money in the bank, because now contenders are going to come out and try to get Bonds and say, well, I knocked them out in 5 rounds or 6 rounds, so I should deserve to fight Sugar Ray Leonard.
You're absolutely right. Right now, Leonard's starting to put the pressure on the way how Dundee wanted him to do the last round. Every time that the bell rings at the end, Bonds takes a deep breath.
He said, I did another one. We're in the 9th round here of the welterweight championship at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Sugar Ray Leonard has been in command, but he has been unable to put away the game challenger, Larry Bonds. Bonds now starting to get a little bit flat-footed. That may be because he might be looking just to slip a punch in on Ray Leonard. He's been on his toes most of the fight. His legs have stayed with him. He's been hurt, but he's been dead game.
You have to also wonder right now, is that southpaw style kind of bothering Leonard that he can't really zero in on this guy? You have to really start to wonder that right now.
And the next guy he's going to fight is a knockout puncher, Ayub Kaluli. He is also a left-hander, but he's a more upright left-hander, maybe not as mobile as Larry Bonds, but a bigger hitter than Larry Bonds. And if this is bothering him, then what is a guy who can hit going to do to him?
And plus a champion at that. So they're both, you're talking about, earlier we were talking about how the champion has a little more of an edge now. Well, then you're going to have 2 champions in there, and that should be a great fight.
Sugar Ray Leonard now in the center of the ring against Larry Bonds. 2 jabs get in on Bonds' face. Bonds comes right back with a combination that scores against Leonard.
I still feel as though that Leonard should stay in the welterweight division and control it, because you have a lot of welterweights coming up, and he can still bring the money in the welterweight division.
Right hand zings into the chin of Larry Bonds again, but Bonds bounces away from it once more.
I just heard a man say he doesn't want to make a few $1 million for fighting Sugar Ray Leonard.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, Leonard is growing. He had a little bit of trouble getting to the weight for this fight, as a matter of fact, and he may have to get into the middleweight division, not even by choice. There's a right hand that scores against Larry Bonds, and Bonds hangs on.
Well, one day, I believe that if we do ever fight, it would be the biggest fight that anybody ever seen, bigger than the Rand fight.
I think it will be. With 2 outstanding fighters. I mean, it would be deservedly so, the biggest fight.
You would also see skill, class, everything.
Here's a right hand that really crashes in to the face of Larry Bonds, and that opens up the nose of Larry Bonds for the first time. There's a little blood in the fight as Bonds bleeds from the nose, and Leonard relentlessly pounds away to the body of Larry Bonds against the ropes, and Bonds now seems unable to get off the ropes. Now he spins Leonard away. Best flurry of the fight for Sugar Ray Leonard. And again, combinations, but Bonds remains on his feet.
Well, right now it seems like Leonard's really starting to get a workout right now. It's not so easy as he thought it was going to be.
Comes to the end of the 9th round, and Larry Bonds will now get on into 10 rounds. And that, I think, has surprised most of the fans here at the Carrier Dome.
It has certainly surprised Leonard. Bonds looked at him at the end of that round and said, here I am, I'm still here. You'd have never guessed it, did you?
The original Who'd Have Thunk It.
Let's take a look at this action here. This is a very good exchange for Leonard. And Ray Leonard is not a great puncher, obviously. He's not been able to handle this fellow, not been able to really hurt him. He knocked him down earlier, but he hasn't really dazed him, hasn't buckled his knees.
No, but you can see that those punches there are starting to take their tolls on Bonds.
Punches to the body have really been telling. Ray has had probably a half a dozen. Good. Larry Bonds' corner saying, dance with him, baby, dance with him. And Larry Bonds does a little of the Sugar Ray Leonard intimidation trick.
I think Bonds just wanted to go to 10 rounds right now, and he knows he's been that before. And now he's starting to feel a little bit more at ease.
That may be his first mistake.
It could be.
Crowd comes alive as Leonard stalks his man. Left hand whistles past the face of Larry Bonds. Bonds with a couple of jabs, tries to slug it out with Leonard in the center of the ring. Leonard comes after him now. Pace of the fight picking up here as Larry Bonds continues to dance.
Bonds still shouldn't be dancing like that there with his hands down, not with the speed of Ray Leonard.
Gets off the ropes again. Leonard has done the most damage on the ropes. Bonds throws a left hand, and now Leonard does a little hoochie coo. Couple of right hands that time by Larry Bonds. Leonard again now gets his man in corner. Right hand, solid right hand to the jaw of Larry Bonds. Bonds in the corner right above us again. Leonard tries to measure him, slips a right hand.
I believe what's going to take a toll on Bond, I believe his face is going to start swelling in a little while. Leonard had his nose bleeding around before, and I believe that his face is going to take a big toll. Maybe puffy around the eyes, and it's kind of hard when you're in there because you can't see.
Leonard looking right into the eyes of his man now. Back to the stomach he goes. A right to the kidney, a right to the face of Larry Bonds. Bonds goes flat-footed now.
Leonard's back in there right now using the straight right hand again.
Right hand right to the nose of Larry Bonds, and a left and a right. 2 punches solidly score on Bonds, and another right hand to the face. Bonds tries to get out of trouble along the ropes, takes another right hand, spins away, legs wobbly. Combination again scores by the champion. And Bonds ties him up. And as Marvin Hagler said, a little puffiness around the eyes now of Larry Bonds.
I don't think that he can see very well right now. And I think Leonard knows that because his eyes, they'll shut closed in a little while.
Eyes really tell a story, don't they? Leonard having it his way, has had it his way most of the fight. The only thing he hasn't been able to do is put his man away.
I believe the punch that Leonard should be using more right now is the left hook on the side of that swollen eye.
Well, he has Bonds' hands down around his waist. Bonds tries to fight back. Bonds is hurt now. Doubles up in the corner. Combinations. Down goes Bonds. Leonard hands over his head. And I don't know if Bonds is going to get up from this one.
I don't think so because it was that belly shot that did it.
Right to the solar plexus, and it'll be all Bonds can do to get up. Arthur Mercanti wipes his gloves off, and we will continue. But Bonds is hurt. No question about it.
Toes you can't shake.
Coming up on 15 seconds in a round, Leonard is trying to put his man away, hammering Bonds. Arthur Mercanti jumps in, says, that's it. That's it. The fight is over, and Sugar Ray Leonard retains the championship against the dead game Larry Bonds, and it was the blows to the stomach, Marvin, that really made the difference in the fight.
That's what it was. Took all the fight right then, right out of him.